So I just watched Black Widow over on Disney Plus. Yes, I mean that Disney Plus. I'm aware this is now playing in theaters and is undoubtedly cheaper to watch it in the cinema rather than from home, but I just didn't feel like going out. As you probably already know, this movie got held back due to the pandemic and was shelved for over a year, but finally Marvel has set a permanent release date for this action spy film, and it came out sooner than expected. So let's just get straight to it. Going into this, I had an idea of what to expect, but sometimes Marvel has been known to catch me off guard once or twice. But overall, I quite enjoyed Black Widow. It didn't feel shallow and generic like Captain Marvel, and I could tell that it tried to take some inspiration from The Winter Soldier. Although it never reaches those levels of action and suspense, I would be lying if I said I didn't find it entertaining in the slightest. I like some of the elements that were incorporated into this solo outing of Black Widow. Family, if you could even call that a theme, plays an important and mostly dominant role throughout this film. Most of this film is focused on Natasha reuniting with her adoptive family and dealing with the shadows of her past, which I won't deny I have seen before in a movie, but in classic Marvel fashion, it brings that extra oomph and style Marvel is known for. The performances weren't that bad actually. I saw some really negative tweets reviewing the movie, highlighting how Black Widow's main star, Scarlett Johansson, really doesn't try in this film. And my response to that is, well, when you've been playing the same character for years, the performance must just come natural for the actors, like second nature. And by that I mean she was just fine in the movie. Same goes for the cast. Nothing too groundbreaking, nothing too shitty. Everyone did their part and they did it well. However, on the other hand, I would also like to clarify that I'm not going to kiss this movie's ass and say it's the best thing Marvel's released after Endgame, because I did have some issues with it. One being the placement of this film in the constantly evolving larger than life MCU. Honestly, I was worried this movie wouldn't do well compared to all the other MCU movies it has to compete with. I'm alright with telling a Black Widow story, heck I'm all for it, but I feel like the issue is that with this movie grounded as it is, it's not much of a spectacle to leave an impression. I feel like Marvel's hit that point in their movies where if it's not jam-packed with CGI explosions, flying superheroes and monsters and so on, then it's not going to be all that impressive, and I feel like Marvel's Black Widow just barely made it over that mark. Lastly, this point can be considered a bit of a nitpick if you wish, I don't know, I just feel like this is something I need to mention but also tread lightly on, since it's something to do with the change to a character's story and gender, and if you've already seen the movie then you probably know who I'm talking about. Still can't wrap my head around why they decided to change Taskmaster's origin entirely. The big identity reveal at the end felt a little forced and honestly predictable. It doesn't take a genius to understand the connection between Taskmaster and Natasha, but to completely erase the rich, interesting history of a well-known antagonist just so that his, well, now her story can connect to our protagonist just feels like a bit of a waste, to be honest. And a bit of a shame, especially how the movie wrapped things up between the two. But that's as far as I'm gonna go with that. This isn't Marvel's best, but it was still fun to watch and see this character one last time, since this is Scarlett Johansson's last performance as Black Widow, as disheartening as that sounds, but it also paves way for Florence's new character to take the mantle, which I'm interested to see more of. Here's to hoping that Marvel's upcoming movies such as the Eternals and Shang-Chi brings a little more to the table. My next video will be on Loki, of course, but I need to catch up on the episodes because I haven't watched any so far. If you want to check that out, then subscribe to the channel if you want, and I'll see you there. Take care, and thanks for watching.